But while that's happening, I'm in my head like, I don't want to be in the conversation when it dies and be like, so, like, how do we break this ice again? You know? So I'm just like, I gotta get out of here. It's weird.
Funny.
It's weird.
It's funny though.
Intuitive, I guess. Thinking for sure. Judging 100%. percent I judge everybody and everything, which is also a terrible personality trait. So it says the people that I'm like, I would probably know, and it's Steve Jobs, Gordon Ramsay, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Margaret Thatcher, Jim Carrey, Whoopi Goldberg. I'm like, I don't like any of these people. It's pretty bad. And then I got Harrison Ford on at one point and Malcolm X. I'm like, okay, my two guys.
Yeah.
My two guys. Star Wars, right? Harrison Ford, Star Wars.
Yep.
And Malcolm X, the GOAT. But I was like, man, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, do I not like my personality type? And then my wife takes a test. I'm like, oh, I just married my personality type.
Yep.
How did this happen?
So funny.
But it is eye-opening. It's 16personalities.com. I really think everybody should do it. Like so I asked your wife to do one, and I got hers back. I'm like, oh man, I've been communicating with her wrong this whole time. For like 6 years, I've been talking the wrong way to this woman. And hers was like, so stupid because it's so obvious. I'm like, light bulbs are going off my head. Like, you're an idiot, Dylan. Of course this is it. Like, it's in your face.
Yep.
Like, I forget what hers was exactly, but it was like a healer, a nurturer, like someone who deeply cares about relationships and how people feel and their emotional states. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. Did you read your wife's at all?
Oh yeah. And I'm just laughing.
Like,
the whole time.
check. Yeah,
Like,
that's her.
I think it's easier for us because you and I both the judge, right? Per our personalities.
Yeah.
You have a higher judging percentage than I do. I think it was like a solid 10% higher, which again makes sense because you definitely judge way faster than I do. But we both do, no argument. But I'm sitting there judging hers, going, I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead. Yes, all of it. So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, no, it's interesting, like seeing just how straightforward I am, check. Seeing how I'm constantly thinking, check. How I analyze multiple outcomes for either a question or an action that's going to take place, and that's what I'm always doing. And
it's good for business. What I've been wondering now is like, I need to get business owners to do this test because I'm wondering if there's like a track if a lot of business owners are architects or what the case is.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, or like CEOs, people who maybe they're not the owner but they have to run the business.
Yep.
That sort of deal. Yeah, I don't know. But then there's more personality tests that I want to do. Haven't gotten around to it. But we had Yvonne Fry on from Workforce Development, and she was talking about a personality test. Harbingers, something like that, personality test. And at some point, it's kind of like, are we getting into zodiacs too? But with how accurate the 16 personality ones was, I was like, okay, maybe I should do more. Really get to know myself better.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't even read like all of it. I'm on mine. I'm maybe like I'm a little over 3/4 done because I mean it's just pages after pages, talking about career paths, workplace habits, parenthood, friendships, relationships, strengths, weaknesses, miscellaneous. Like the category, like it just keeps on going. So I need to actually finish my own. Now that I have yours, I want to finish all of that so I can judge you further.
Yeah. I was thinking like kind of deeply about communicating people, ways of working with people. I actually found this sheet called Ways of Working where you would ask your employers or coworkers or friends or whatever, anything you're doing some type of project with to fill out. And it outlines like, how do you prefer to be communicated with? Do you like text? Do you like email? How do you accomplish tasks? What are good times to reach you and not reach you? Just better ways to communicate with people. And then there's a book I've been reading. This is going to turn into a book club that I suggested to you, Herding Tigers.
Oh, yep. I I'm big on audiobooks, as you know.
Yeah.
Finished that one last week. Right now I'm on because you recommended it. Herding Tigers was good. It
Yeah.
was good. It was really, really interesting. Some of the points that they brought up, I was aware of, but like the nuances, I was not.
Mm-hmm.
And then talks a lot about being able to understand the other perspective, which I've always been big proponent for. Like, you have to be able to see the other person's perspective, whether you agree with it or not. You have to at least be able to understand why they have that perspective as a creative.
Yeah. And it's, I guess maybe that book is what stemmed me wanting to do the personality test and all that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But in the book, the tigers is the, I think, important element of it is that we're talking about creative people in the industry that we're in, and personalities are so big, and then artistic people are very open, like open to, like putting out a lot of emotion, receiving a lot of emotion. They're kind of open books, like, a lot of the people we work with, we're tattooed, or we have cool or funky hairstyles, or colorful, or we dress a certain way. And there's definitely like an art to seeing that and not making quick judgments. So then I get my personality says I'm like super judgy. Okay, I get it. But reading the Herding Tigers, like, how do I communicate with all these different people? How do I get through my judginess, and how do I get down to the root of like really understanding the people that I'm working with or around, and kind of building them up, or getting people to work together to be in the herd and accomplish goals. I think you do that really well, which is why I thought the book would be good for you to read, because it's kind of like, so you already see some of the writing on the wall, like you said, like, oh, I already kind of knew this and that.
Yeah, but some of the nuances, man, they're like, it's so like it's actually marked down for me to re-listen to hopefully next week, because it was that good that I want to get a second round in a like kind of short amount of time to be able to process the information a little bit more. But yeah, it's there was actually, I don't know if you noticed. I mean, it depends how far you are in the book, but
I finished.
you did. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was one portion in the book talking about meetings and communication. And I took like a little bit of a hybrid version of that section, along with something that you said to me, whatever, months ago at this point, and ran our last team meeting a little differently. And so the last two team meetings, I've kind of shifted slightly how we operate the meetings, and I'm already much happier with how much time we spend talking.
Yeah.
And what we accomplish. It's not necessarily the time. Like, if we talk for 4 hours, which we don't, unless it's the annual meeting, right? It just needs to be a productive and successful 4 hours. If it's 60 minutes, it needs to be productive 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And one of the things in Herding Tigers about talking about like meetings and communication within meetings was just start the meeting. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. What you up to? How's things going? Which, like, me being so I'm a straightforward person. Like, you good? We good. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a problem? Let's talk. Cool. Hey, you good? No? Well, you're lying to me. I can tell. You sure we're still good? Okay. You say so, whatever, and we move on. Right? Like, I'm straightforward.
Yeah.
But so take my personality archetype of being straightforward, and him saying, the author of the book saying, like, hey, when you start meetings, just start them.
Yes.
Like, get into the creativity, get into the nuances. Your team will follow suit, but in a good way. It's not like they're not following, like, it's Herding Tigers. Right? We're all creatives.
Just starting the meeting, I think everybody likes that because we can all see the benefit of it. I think it's a unanimous thing that everybody thinks meetings can be a waste of time in some manner or
Correct.
another. But that waste of time is pretty objective when you talk about what they say in Herding Tigers. just start the meeting.
Yep.
We are wasting time when
Yeah.
we're going through the how's your day? How's this? How's
Yep.
this going? What are you doing today? Or,
Yeah.
you know, if it's not relevant to the work.
Yeah.
Because those conversations are more meaningful outside of work meetings.
Correct. You know, start with a pleasantry. Hey, everyone good? Because if someone says no, well, yeah, you hear them out. Like
Yeah.
if there is a problem, but if it's like yeah, you get 5-6 yeses, we're in, cool. And so so just starting, I was like such a simple thing, but like within creatives, and like he broke down like the reason why it's good just to start, and I was like, yeah. I'm a straightforward person. I sure would like to just get going. I talk to all of you guys